Hi, everybody. This is day 1,638 days since Richard was premeditatedly murdered on Fort Bliss. On Fort Bliss. Um, it's a code red. And what a day. What a amazing day. Today, I got 6 minutes left. Inauguration day. And it's just been, who knows what's going to happen in 6 minutes because the day has been unbelievable. We are just popping champagne, popping the bottle of champagne. Even though, I really haven't been drinking any kind of adult beverages this whole time because when you're in battle mode, you got to stay alert. Absolutely, but it's got to stay alert and got to keep fight, right? Fight. In the sense of keeping Richard's name um, out there, making sure everyone knows who he is, because he was right all along, wasn't he? He was right all along. It was so bad. It was so bad. He would tell me, "Mom, it's just so bad. It is just so bad." Um, And so today we received major confirmation to this. Um, but of course, in 2019, Richard wasn't alone. Uh, you had Judge Roger Rodriguez um, saying it too, that it is so bad. There's an emergency. Indeed, there's an emergency. And then saying, and I hope I get it perfectly right, that there is no difference between the Mexican cartels and the terrorists, right? A terrorist organization. There's no difference. That was huge. That was back then. The only MAGA judge at the border, on the border. And, if I was President Trump, and I'm not President Trump, and I don't claim to be as smart as he is, but if I could give one recommendation, it would be I'd get Judge Roger Rodriguez on my team ASAP, ASAP, because he knows what's happening at the border. But I'm sure, um, but yeah, we need all hands on deck. But it has been absolutely an amazing day. Right after President Trump put his hand on that beautiful, glorious, good book, good book that gives us our freedom, gives us peace, gives us hope, gives us love, contentment, you name it, patience, gives us patience, gives us dignity. When he put his hand there and he took his oath, um, you know, uh, the world has changed. The world has changed. And right away, I got a message that the El Paso border crossing was closed. Was closed. Um, that's amazing. So I want to tell everyone out there, justice for Richard Halliday, Team Find Richard Halliday. I want to say thank you so much for keeping me updated all day long. That was just amazing. And worldwide, worldwide. We're talking about South Africa, we're talking about in Europe, we're talking about in Asia. They're all watching, and it was just beautiful. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day. And the more it went on, the more beautiful it got. It was just and I have um, some real insights from 4 years of um, pulling together with Team Find Richard Halliday the forensic findings. I'm gonna. I We're working so hard on our report to Congress that I want to speak in that language, because of forensic findings, the comprehensive investigation. That's really what needs to get out there. It needs to get into MAGA. It needs to get into the Congress, into the Trump administration. They need to have this comprehensive investigation from a forensics point of view with all the findings that we have. They need to have that. And so we're working really diligently. We have been working, but just trying to, put it in a concise manner. Otherwise, it would be volumes long, right? So, uh, and because they're working so fast. President Trump is working so fast. Not only did he reiterate what we have been saying, especially what we've been putting out lately and sending him, and that is that the Mexican cartels now have been declared a terrorist organization. That is so big, and the not only the cartels, the Mexican cartels, but also the narco politicians. He also declared them um, a terrorist organization. This is so big, and let me tell you why it's so big. Um, Remember, he said that he was going to establish federally the death penalty. Well, this is what he did today. He just made most of the crimes, the major crimes going on in El Paso, a death penalty crime. That's what he did. He established the death penalty in this criminal trafficking network, the El Paso cartel with the Juarez cartel, with the Sinaloa cartel, um, with the narco politicians. And I hope that I understand it properly. I really do. Please, let me know if I'm not saying this right, But if you're with these cartel organizations, which Richard's case is totally connected to a criminal group that's connected with the cartel. So he just established the death penalty for those worst crimes in Richard's case, what Richard was reporting on, right? Because look, let's say you're in the American military and you are cooperating with the cartel and the criminal trafficking. Um, Starting today, from what I understand, starting today, that's a death penalty offense. That would be aiding and abetting a terrorist organization. So, like, say wowzer, say wow. I mean, that is just amazing because um, after everything that we've been through, seeing how um, individuals have covered up because there's just it's kind of like this whole General Mealy thing, right? Why was his pardon such a big deal? Why did he even have to be pardoned? If he did his duty, why wasn't the law good enough for him? Why wasn't the law as a four-star general joint chiefs of staff good enough for him? Why wasn't were they not going to protect him as a four-star general of the joint chiefs of staff, the leader? See, he just admitted he he did something that he could not trust the judicial system to treat him fairly on. That he would not, because he accepted the pardon. And then, of course, you know, his picture was released, put up in the Pentagon, I think 10 days ago, and they removed that. That was taken down. Of course, he's a disgrace. He's a total disgrace. What he did, and then, and to put General Mealy right in the same basket with Fauci, and with Cheney, put him in the same basket because you know how many people at January 6th that were in that crowd that were coaxed, and okay, we're one of them, to get really close so that they could tear gas us, so that, hopefully there would be some casualties, like people would be trampling, but we didn't. We didn't. It was an amazing group. It was an amazing group of veterans. There were so many veterans there, right? And I hope everybody understands how many veterans were there, that they were trying to, tear gas, my husband being one of them, right? And, and then when that didn't work, then the rubber bullets came out, right? We didn't stay for that. We left. We left early. Um, but they were absolutely guiding us and trying to get us up there. They were really. It was to see the pardons today, to see the comments, to see President Trump speak about that was absolutely. It was just like, let freedom ring, let freedom ring. Oh, the pastor that prayed about so passionately. It was just, that was amazing. Um, so it was really so much happened today with Fort Bliss closing down and the Mexican cartel being designated as a terrorist organization with the narco politicians. Now the death penalty has been now established with these kind of crimes. And after 4 years of just hell, this has been absolute hell. And what they did to Richard, they did so many things to Richard, right? A young soldier, that, you know, calling out for help even, and the help didn't come, right? Calling out for help, calling out for a transfer, and the transfer didn't come. Calling out for protection, and what? The protection didn't even show up. The protection didn't even show up. And he told me, Mom, I can't leave my room. And, this is why I hate the whole mandate thing, because I was like, are they mandating that he stays in his room? And they weren't. He was afraid for his life. He was afraid for his life. And of course, and he was asking for help, and the help never came, and the transfer never came. And I just, and what they did to him, what they did to him is so bad that I have to tell you, I never thought I would say this, but I am saying it. I was so happy when President Trump instituted the death penalty. And why is that now? Okay, because if you're a terrorist organization, you're aiding, abetting a terrorist organization. If you're dealing in all this stuff, and I don't know if it can be applied to Richard's case or not. I don't know, because of it being signed today. But anytime you are aiding, abetting, or you're in business with a terrorist organization, um, that's treason. That's treason, especially if you're in the military. Uh, that's yeah, yeah. I'm just I have to say, I am absolutely calling for the death penalty, and those that did this to Richard, and so many things that they did to him. Which leads me to, of course, Leilani Hart. Leilani Hart, who is a prime suspect in this case and has, I don't think she had too good of a day. I think she had probably a very, very bad day because um, President Trump is looking at those that, you know, did not respect the law coming into the country, that they came in illegally. And of course, all evidence that we have indicates that she came into the country illegally and then to commit all kinds of fraud and everything. I don't think he's looking too keen on that, and it has to happen. Like, so the other thing with this whole Mexican cartels being now designated as a terrorist organization is that President Trump now can um, uh, can enter in Mexico, right? So he's setting up, because we know that Mexico got out of control. We know, and it really was coming into the United States. It really, and if you go to the DEA and to like ATF because of the weapons, with the drugs, and the weapons are part of it. Of course, they need the weapons, and um, then access to children, and the hundreds of thousands of children that are now mostly dead. And so then you have the human trafficking, and just it gets so out of hand. And we know that Fort Bliss, El Paso, that was the epicenter. So um it's going to be he knew that he could not trust the government situation in Mexico as it is right now to deal with the problem. And so, this is all very well thought out when you start looking into all of his decisions that he made today, because of designating the politicians, also the narco politicians, as terrorists. So that's really huge. So back to Leilani, you know, if she came into the country legally, and all indications is that she did, then she came in as a lie, came in committing fraud, and and it hasn't stopped then. And before Richard was even born, she was committing crimes, more crimes. So she's just totally by nature a criminal. She just lies, and she just schemes, and she just breaks the law, and feels entitled that she can do it, and that they need to cover for her, and she can just um, take benefits that don't belong to her, and um, um, be a prime suspect in our in the murder of our son. In that, yeah, yeah. So that is tamper with evidence. Um, you know, brag that she is in total control of the CID, that she can get access um, to tamper with files, that she tampered with Richard's file, that she can mess with Park University. She really messed with Park University too. Now Park University is, a shell of what they were. Um, and then, and I don't know if I blame it on her. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. She's pretty toxic. She's pretty toxic. And then, of course, the VA, the Veterans Administration, and then, of course, uh, the other the other big deal, and that is Nieto. She absolutely is connected to the FBI there in El Paso. Uh, Jesus Eddie Nieto Jr. He is, let me tell you, he is probably the one that the Trump administration is looking at more closely than even Lalani. Um, because Nieto, remember, when our whistleblower in Richard's case, Judge Roger Rodriguez, submitted in his judicial capacity a whistleblower complaint to multiple agencies, including to Agent Nieto. Um, Agent Neto leaked that to Lalani Hart and CID Tavita Nusa. And CID agent Tavita Nusa, he's not out of the picture. I mean, it's so hard to find who to really tell the public about in regards to Richard's case. And we really focus on Lalani because Nieto is connected to Lalani. CID, that's FBI, and CID Tavita Nusa is connected to Lalani, and then you have James Hart in the Veterans Administration connected to Lalani. Then you have the DES Thomas Kane, the Director of Emergency Services for Fort Bliss, connected to Lalani. Then you have Major General Clem Coward, right? Richard's general, connected to Lalani. Then you have Park University, where DES Thomas Kane was, and Ann Ogle, and doing their corporate stuff, connected to Lalani. So it's and then you have Bob Moore of El Paso Matters connected to Lalani, right? And then, of course, you have um, Felix Valenzuela, who's on the Walmart case, connected to Lalani. So Lalani is really, she needs to be arrested, right? And she absolutely, not because we say so, but because of her sworn confession, her her affidavit that she had notarized, that she is confessing to these crimes against children, facilitating crimes against children. Um, you know, eh, she absolutely admitted to the worst types of crimes in videos, in her master bedroom. You know, they have Heart Childcare LLC. I mean, it's just um, the worst types of crime, even in her own family. And of course, which includes Dallas Hart in uniform, which is illegal. So, she absolutely needs to be arrested because if, and she's a big fat liar, we know she lies, but you can't lie to the FBI, right? You can't lie to the FBI without being arrested. So Nieto needs to arrest her for that. Or if it's true what's in there, where, we've have every indication that a lot of it's true, then she needs to be arrested for that possession of these the worst types of crime committed against children, videotaped, the worst types of crime in her master bedroom by multiple members of her household that she facilitated and then didn't fail to report in a timely manner, and and on, and it's just goes on and on. So and then of course the fraud in the VA that she confessed to. um so and her illegal status in the country that she confessed to, illegal purchases of weapons that she confessed to. So it is really, she needs to be arrested no matter what, just because of her own confessions. Um, it, what's going on with Nieto, right? And then to see Nieto have this connection with Angela Kachurga, a conflict of interest, right? And then, of course, with Bradford Bugado, the G3 of the 32nd AdCom. These people, they all need to be, I mean, Leilani absolutely needs to be audited, right? And I think if you audit Leilani, you're going to get the information from the CID, from the FBI, from Fort Bliss, from Park University. You're going to get it from the DES. You're going to get it from the VA, because she just has spun her web into these agencies. And, so she absolutely needs to be audited. She needs to be arrested. And it really seems, all indications is that President Trump is listening to us, to Team Find Richard Halliday, to our reports. And so we're going to do our part to continue. Um, and the big thing that we're working on is this congressional report. From the beginning, I've been, putting together a book, and everybody knows that. I haven't been silent about it. But we're going to really turn that into what we've been working on, into a congressional report. We think that is something we can do a little bit quicker. And it is just trying to make it concise with the most important information. Otherwise, it's volumes long, since we've been doing this for over 4 years. And any of these unit members, because of course we have the unit connected to the cartel, we have the unit connected to the Walmart mass shooting. So that connects the Walmart mass shooting with the cartel. Okay. And so, and with Dallas Hart being the platoon leader, and Leilani Hart tampering and intentionally interfering with the case. Um, is she part of the cartel too? Is she connected to the cartel? That's a good question. That's why she needs to be audited. And now, if she keeps that up, through where she was getting her mail from and everything, and um, then, she will be considered, well, she's illegal. So I don't know if she could be considered treasonous. I don't know if they'll let her birth country deal with her. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. But all I know is today was just absolutely amazing. Um, the parade was so great, wasn't it? The parade was so great, and people from all over the world were watching that, and it was so Americana. It felt so good to be so Americana back. It's just like, we're back. It just was, and uh, and President Trump just looked amazing. Um, Very, very focused, uh, very intentionally focused. He knows what he wants. He knows he is a real president, y'all. He is a real president. So I think tomorrow I am just okay, I've got to work hard, work hard. We're working behind the scenes so that we can give them all this information. Also, DOGE, that was started today, and we were one of the very first people that took advantage of that. We did submit um, our DOGE report against Lilani Hart for the VA. Uh, for yeah, for the abuse because that needs to be audited. So, and we every day we're submitting, emailing, faxing, um, and we will let everyone know more and more about that. Um, because here we are every day and posting every day because we want our son's remains. We want those that did this to him held accountable. And we don't want anyone else to have to go through this. And we are pro Army. It was so great to see our military. The fife and drum was just amazing, which I've been to tattoos there, watching the fife and drum because, of course, people might not know this, but Rob was 1 year with the old guard. He was chosen to serve with the old guard. Um, it was an amazing experience. And this was right before he went to perfusion school. And, it was just an honor. It was just a total honor. We are so pro um, our, our military. And they are so precious, right? Our defense is so precious. And, I maybe, oh, geez, if you watch Lord of the Rings, you don't want me to say that. Um, how can I say how I feel about it's our treasure, right? It's because without our military, where's our security? And this is the problem in El Paso for sure. We give them everything. We gave Nieto, the FBI Nieto, everything to secure our national security, to protect our national security. What was he doing? What was he doing? Letting Lilani have control over him? Uh did Angela Kachurga have control over him? Because something is really fishy with all of that. And, so this is, in the military, of course, the leadership. What was Sean Bernabe doing? What was the Patrick, what was it, Matlock? Or um, what was Clem Coward doing? What was General Michael Garrett doing? General Michael Garrett, um, so up to no good. Oh my gosh. He needs to be absolute. I'm sure they've already investigated him. Um, he is, oh, he is so bad. So bad. So bad. I just have to use Richard's words. And, what were they doing? This is about national security, and we give them everything. And our service members got killed, they got harmed, they got mentally harmed, they got unnecessarily. There is no excuse that when Richard knew that he was in danger for whistleblowing and asked for a transfer, there was no excuse for them not to do it. But they didn't come. They didn't come. The help never came. And that's on Michael Garrett because he absolutely knew. And the lies that because the fallout from Vanessa Guillen was so bad that they thought they could lie to us. That for those 4-star generals could lie to us. Mealy, McConville, Garrett, Donna Martin. She's a 3-star, but Donna Martin. I mean, she's IG of the Army. What was she thinking? These are huge criminals. Huge criminals with no honor at all. And so, yeah, it's uh, to see the fife and drum, to see the performances by our military, the band, stripes for talent. The stripes for talent, boy, they are so talented. It was just awesome to hear them. And, it just, we are fighting for our service members. And I've said that for a long time. We are fighting for our service members. We cannot let this happen. We cannot let these traitors wear our beautiful uniforms with our beautiful stars and our stripes, and do what they did to Jake Jakovitz, right? Putting in all those years and then him compromised. He was absolutely compromised, and I don't think he liked it. I don't want to speak for him, but he was shaken. He was shaken. And Jay Paulin, and of course, uh, Brigadier General Stewart, they just manipulated him, turned him into a pretzel right before our eyes. It was just so sad. It was so sad to see. And I just, and these 4-star generals, they need to be held accountable for what they did. And to see all the service members get full back pay, that is so right. What they did, just to try to get lawyers to help you, the cost, and then you get set up. You get, it's just it's very hard to explain to people what this deep state, what this cartel co-conspirators do. I just because and why? What's the motive? Well, just the narcotics alone is $9 billion a year. 90 billion dollars a year. Just the narcotics. And that's not including all the weapons. That's not including all the human trafficking. So, this is a really, really big business. And to have a compromised border, to have a compromised um, military installation with plenty of weapons coming through, and then to have the Pentagon feel like they don't have to pass an audit for 7 times in a row, that they could be trillion dollars off, and nobody's going to do anything about it. I mean, just put the puzzle pieces together. You can see what's going on. So I think today was the beginning of accountability, and a beginning of accountability, the beginning of a golden age. There's just this really, really good feeling, right? This really good feeling because justice is there. And, when justice is there, you actually have your you actually have your rights, right? You have your freedom of speech, which he did today. And then you have the peaceful transfer of power, which can only happen if the people have the Second Amendment right? If the people are more armed than the government, then there's going to be peaceful power, a peaceful transfer of power. So the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, I can get into the whole thing of of what happened today, having this wonderful feeling, um, because of justice coming back in to play, to have an actual um, judicial, law abiding, constitutional hope for our government. And that is what we did have was lawlessness, right? Was lawlessness, was no justice. And when there is no justice, what did St. Augustine say? A land without justice is just a band of robbers, just a criminal syndicate, just a bunch of cartels. That's it. Just cartels, and yeah. So today was really just, oh my gosh, just pivotal, 180 degree. And it felt so great watching it. And I wanted to post more, but I just wanted to watch it all and take it in. And with the family, we are just and singing, really singing. Thank you so much, President Trump. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for standing tall, for getting through a an assassination, a couple, or maybe a few assassination attempts, um, and standing up and saying, "Fight, fight, fight for us." He was talking to us that we should fight for our country, meaning peacefully. Um, Observing, documenting crime, filing, using our system to uh, to establish justice in our country. And with that, then we have our rights, and we have freedom, and we have hope, and we have family, and we have, all of the virtues that that make this country, that will make this country, that has made this country, um, uh, that created the whole MAGA, right? Created the too big to rig. Um, that is that hope, that desire for a lawful, law abiding country, defending our Constitution is what brought us here. And but it's not done yet. We still have um, a lot of things that we need to do because we're in so much debt, right? And Leilani Hart's still on the streets. She needs to be arrested, right? So we have a lot to do, and the generals are, the generals need to be, yeah, it's yeah. And Nieto still is in the FBI. Yeah, it's just, so there's a lot that needs to be done. And we're very thankful that that this is the beginning. And thank you so much, and thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for sharing our content. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for the prayers. Thank you for all the tips. Thank you for all the links. Thank you for everything. We love you. And God bless America. And thank you so much. We'll be back, God willing, tomorrow. Bye bye.